Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. Have you seen the headlines? Let me share those with you. Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg says that the White House pressured Facebook or Fakebook or Farcebook, whatever you want to call it, to censor some of the cooties content during the pandemic. Gee willikers, who would have thunk? Raise your hand and let me know in a comment below if you were censored on Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook anymore. Well, I'm going to share with you some of the content that I created in the early years. I'm going to show you evidence of this censorship and why I am not on it. Before I do that, look at this little fella right there. There's our little kitty cat. Yes, our Tabby Tarzan Belly Beans Tesoro. He has a very long name, and he's just taking a little nap there. He might hop on my lap and make another appearance. I want to share with you some of the content that I did on Facebook, and I'll take you through that in just a moment. Why don't we do this? I'll get the sponsor message out to you, and then we will dive into this. I want to hear from you. If you've been censored, what happened? Are you on that platform? And first of all, we want to talk about 7 reasons everyone over 50 should be taking this kind of protein. Now, you know and I know that finding an honest doctor that isn't following in the footsteps of big pharma, I call it the mainstream medical merry-go-round, that can feel impossible. But that's why millions of men and women are turning to this one Texas doctor and his 7 reasons that anyone over the age of 50 should be drinking this one thing. And it's not milk. It's not another one of those calcium-rich drinks. Instead, it's a unique protein that naturally declines with age, and it's proven to significantly increase bone strength and soothe joint pain. It minimizes wrinkles and cellulite and enhances hair follicle thickness, and it can even reverse nail damage, with users reporting results in as little as 2 weeks. As a partner of the show, this Texas doctor is offering all of my healthy Americans up to 45% off his bone, joint, and ligament restoring formula. And you can go to getnativepathcollagen.com/Peggy. I'll have a link for you in the description box below. I want you to know that this product has thousands of 5-star reviews, millions of jars sold, and every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. So there is no risk for you at all to try it today. Again, all of my healthy Americans get up to 45% off. Go to my special link, getnativepathcollagen.com/Peggy. Friends, years ago, yes, years ago, because we started all of this back in 2020, I was trying to talk sense into people who were living in fear when all of the hogwash was sloshed all over us. And I did a lot of deep digging on the CDC website and my own state of California Department of Health. And I was showing the numbers for illness and disease in the previous years leading up to 2020. And I was showing that those numbers were actually less than what we were seeing in 2020, and how all of that was very questionable. And then this emergency that the state of California launched into the first state in the United States to literally shut everything down. I don't like to use the word lockdown because I had a key, and I don't like to have that language that is associated with prison, prisons and all of that. So no, I was not locked down. I could leave my house. I'm not going to give my power away. And I'm also not going to say that they mandated us. No one can mandate anything except for a judge in a court of law, and that has to be in accordance with law. And none of these things that they were requiring were laws. There was no law to restrict your breathing. Now, if you want to do so, that's absolutely fine, but just know that it was a choice. And for some people, apparently, it was the choice they wanted to make. There was no law about closing down your business. Now, I know plenty of business owners, because I helped thousands of them stay open legally. They didn't know the laws, and they didn't know how to fight back when the authorities came knocking illegally, I might add. These curfews and all of that, so much of this was just sloshed all over us in an unethical, illegitimate, unlawful, illegal, unthinkable, immoral manner. And I was speaking out against it from day one. And my social media of choice at the time was Facebook. I want to take you over to my Facebook page, and I want to share with you why I'm not active on Facebook now. Actually, before we do that, let me just speak really briefly about the headlines here because I promised to do that. And this is what is going on here. I actually went to PBS, which is a more left-leaning media outlet. And I do that sometimes because I want to see what the other perspective is sharing and showing. And then I'm actually going to read to you his actual letter, and that's called Going to the Source. But here's the headline from PBS. Zuckerberg says the White House pressured Facebook to censor some COVID-19, can you believe I said that? Content during the pandemic. Did I pronounce that correctly? All right. This story says that Zuckerberg says that the administration officials pressured Facebook to censor some of this cooties content and vowed that the social media giant Zuckerberg said that if that happened again, he would push back. Now, I want to read you the actual letter because it's really weak. And these headlines are just, I believe, kind of sensationalizing it. So this was published yesterday, and which was August 26th, and it is a letter to the Representative Jim Jordan, who many people applaud as someone who is trying to expose all of the hogwash. Now, I'm skeptical by nature, and I don't know exactly what this Jim Jordan is doing and whether we can trust him or not. You may know more about him than I do, so I'm not giving you any opinion on him other than he received this letter because he has been doing some investigations about censorship and other things related to this hogwashing. Because I'm skeptical by nature, I can't help but consider the possibility that this is also theater so that we will all feel better and say, well, look, Zuck, yeah, what the Zuck? That Zuck is saying, hey, I made a mistake. I'm not going to do it again. And then everyone will ease their foot off the gas pedal and not be so disturbed about censorship coming from the government and kind of a fascist union of the government and corporations. There, I said it. So I don't even know if I can trust this. But here's what Zuck said. He said, I'm going to summarize it a little bit. If you'd like to read the whole thing, I'll have it for you in my Substack, peggyhall.substack.com, absolutely free to you. And I do want to thank all of my special healthy Americans that are supporting me with a paid subscription. If you don't have a penny to spend, please don't spend a penny. All of the content is free to everyone. The only difference is that the paid subscribers get to join our private, uncensored monthly webinar. And we always have great guests on the show. We had Dr. Char, we had Dr. Sam and Dr. Mark. And anyhow, let's talk about this letter. So Mark Zuckerberg says, I appreciate the committee on the Committee of the Judiciary's interest in content moderation. How do you like them apples? You see how they manipulate the words. Oh, no. I need to set the record straight. It's not censorship. It's content moderation, like they do here on YouTube. Yes, I had to go through the re-education program. I might have to put that video back up for you. I take it down from time to time because I never know if YouTube will allow it to stay. Zuck says, as you are aware, Meta, which is I hate that name, is the company that owns Facebook. Yeah, that's how I say it, has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of talk now about the U.S., how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta. I want to be clear about our position. Our platforms are for everyone, except Peggy Hall and the other truth tellers. And I'm going to give you evidence of that in just a moment. We're about promoting speech. Did you catch the word he left out? He didn't say free speech. Yeah, it's moderated speech. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. Because don't you know, we need Facebook to keep us safe. We're not capable of keeping ourselves safe and reading and discerning. And I'm telling you, a lot of people don't have the ability to read between the lies. But that doesn't mean that I want some nanny like Mark Zuckerberg to oversee all of that. He continues to write, as a part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns around public discourse and public safety. So when is Facebook in the safety business? What are they, policemen? It's so bizarre. So here's the heart of the matter. In 2021, He writes, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Oh, when did you not agree, Mark? He goes on to say, ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take the content down, and we own our decisions, including the COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure, which means he capitulated. I believe the government pressure was wrong, but I went along with it anyway. Okay. You know, that's all that I'm going to read of this, because there's something more that I want to talk about. I will have that letter for you at the Substack. But what I want to do is share with you my Facebook. I'm going to share it with you kind of now and what it used to be. Okay, here we are on my Facebook page. Let me know in a comment when you think the last time it was that I actually posted something there on Facebook. Well, I'll tell you, it was almost a year ago, just a couple months shy of a year. So I spoke about a holistic vet because, you know, I'm very interested in animal health holistically, and that was November 2023. So I also posted some of my previous interviews. It's easy for me to interview on Facebook there. So I did post a couple of those, but I want you to look at this. How many views did this get? It got, all right, 2023, it had 1 comment and 7 shares and 47 likes. I don't know how many views it got because it doesn't show me. And then my interview with Dr. Graves got 20 shares, 5 comments, 57 likes. All right, this is in 2023. You can see that my reach was throttled. Okay, 18 comments. Okay, what, almost 200 likes, and I don't really care about likes, but I'm using this as evidence. Let's go back. All right, if you're on my page, which I don't even know if it's public anymore, it might have set it to private because I'm not there. You click on videos and you can see all of the hundreds of videos that I posted. Here I have my shorter hair in the early days of all of this hogwash. And I think I might download a couple of those and I might even replay them here for you. I've got beach church appearances. I've got when I spoke at the board of SUBSTACK, that's how you pronounce it. I've got other people when they were speaking there. I've got a lot of lives that I did in my car. Here I am speaking outside, board of supervisors, thousands of people. Oh, this one's kind of interesting. I wanted to share this one with you.
Every time I go out shopping, any place, I don't care, wherever, I walk in with this and no problems whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. I'm so glad we bought 10 of these to hand out from your website, Peggy, to give you support.
So this is a card that I used to make available in the early days that simply was a card that stated your rights. It's not like papers or anything. It was a way to educate people who tried to discriminate against you. And this was a woman here. This is outside the Board of Supervisors. And you can see that this video had 3,000 views. Okay, that's quite a bit more. And that was back in 2021. Let's take a look at this one. All right. I was at the Village speaking. I think I will replay some of this. I do believe that YouTube actually, that's me there with the shorter hair. I do believe that YouTube might be easing up on some of its censorship. So I might censor this a little bit. This had 32,000 views, all right, in 2020. So 32,000 views compared to, what was it? 200 at the most in 2023, meaning I'm shadow banned. None of what I post on Facebook is going to be seen anyway. So you can see so many of my videos, and I have some funny ones here. Here's when I went into the store about the suffocation devices, and they had one for children, and it said, healthy breathing every day. All right, that had 4,000 views. The other one I showed you had 30,000. Look at this one, speaking out at the Board of Supervisors, 104,000 views. Many of my videos would get upward of 100,000. I had one that I spoke about the OSHA and how having the suffocation device on would restrict your breathing. I was the first person that alerted people to that. That had 250,000 views, all right, on Facebook. And here's another one. You can see all the people there. Now, what I wanted, so here, I have a lot of great videos there. So this was Tom Cowan. So many of you are asking me to interview him. I did interview him, and that was on Facebook. That had 8,000. But what I want to share with you is there are a lot of fun videos here. And I have a lot of interviews. I interviewed not only Tom Cowan, I've got Pam Popper, I've got Sherry Tenpenny, I've got so many interviews here. I've got lots of people that stood up to keep their businesses open. Here's one, here's another one, here's another one. This fellow owned a restaurant. I've got Sheriff Mack. We don't see eye to eye on everything. I've got so many videos. I've got millions of views all put together on these. There's Renette Senum on these videos over the many years. Oh my gosh, there's Russ Taylor, who was arrested by the FBI, who then gave evidence to the government. These are very interesting times here. Many of my speaking engagements, I traveled all over California. Look at all of these people. This is an event I spoke at in Temecula. This is an event I spoke at in Huntington Beach. And I'm not really speaking as much these days in person, just kind of for my own safety, sad to say. But anyhow, here's what you've got. I've got thousands. Oh, it seems like I'm sure there are thousands of videos here, at least thousands of views. And this is on my Facebook page. Now, I don't really post there anymore because you can see the censorship is so outrageous. So what I do is I post here on YouTube, and people have told me that when they try to share, like if you tried to share this video on Facebook, you're going to get a notice, it's taken down. I am on the naughty list. Now, something else about Facebook that really rubs me the wrong way. Okay, in the early days, I was trying to help wake people up. And I was showing them that they didn't need to live in fear, that the numbers of this condition and the severity and all of that isn't what we were told. And that I was showing them specific numbers. I didn't even show you that. Okay, here we are in the early days. And up until about a year ago or so, I used to post a lot of memes on my Facebook page as well. So you can quickly see some, funny things and so forth. So I had a lot there. Oh, there's my lovely Olivia that helps me, and her husband there. So I had lots of posts. And in the early days, I would post information. Of course, I helped people with their medical rights, how to keep their business open. I helped people a lot with keeping their jobs without getting the jab. I did a lot on the spraying in the skies and so forth, and how to sue. And so you can see I did a lot. Kaiser employees, Southwest, federal employees, the slimy tactics. I mean, gosh, when I look back and I think how much time and energy I spent my entire waking, and I hardly slept at all. I love this one, fully immunized, just like God made me. I think we're still selling that t-shirt. And in the early days, so this is a lot of where I did my speaking all over California. I was invited to several events. I love this one, of course. This is fantastic. It is a prescription for happiness. I showed you my little Tavi Tesoro there. Absolutely. And what I shared in the very beginning was this. People did not want to see it. All right. This was as of May 12th, 2020. And I was just making this information so people could see it without the emotions. And I showed that in as of this date, there were 76 deaths that were attributed to cooties. And in any given year, there would be 543 regular flu deaths out of over 3 million people. And the entire county was shut down because of these 76 deaths that could, as you know, not be confirmed as to why the people died. Now we know why they did, because of the medical intervention. And that was an emergency. So I did tons of information about this. I gave information about the suffocation devices and how harmful they were. I showed all of the plastic bags that suddenly were back in California after they had been banned. And I did this for all different states and counties. This was here in San Clemente, one of the very first rallies that we had. I love this. I used to have that as a page on my website. I might put that back up. I just love it. So people were coming out of their homes. They were opening up their businesses. Of course, I never stayed home or did any of that. And I was showing I made these graphics myself, and I was trying to educate people. For example, here in, let's look at the San Francisco County. Almost 1 million people in San Francisco. There were 15 deaths attributed to cooties, compared to 127 deaths average for the flu, and they were shut down. And I was sharing this information, and you would be amazed if you were to read these comments. People were arguing with me. They were arguing with me when I showed them that in the state of Florida, for example, out of 22 million people in 2020, there were 627 deaths attributed to cooties out of 3,000 average flu deaths. And I understand Florida was not as shut down as others, but I looked at all of the different counties in California. Here's San Diego. Again, over 3 million population, 47 deaths compared to an average of 367 for the regular flu, yet we shut down. We never shut down any other years. And here, extremely lucky that California acted swiftly and firmly. Oh, so you're telling me that the reason why there weren't as many deaths in California is because of the shutdown. Anyway, people were arguing. I was being excoriated. People were unfriending me. Friends that I had known since childhood wanted nothing to do with me. Many of them still don't. And it was so strange to me because I didn't even need Zuckerberg to censor me. It was like the people themselves were arguing. Why? Because they live in fear. And, I don't hold any grudges. Perhaps one day they'll come around and see the truth. When people are operating out of fear, they can't think clearly. And that's exactly what the bad guys do. They know that they can slosh the hogwash all over you. They can give you all these conflicting numbers. They can tell you to put the device on, take it off. You shouldn't wear it. You should wear it. All of the confusion is intended to keep you in that perpetual state of fear. So friends, I don't have anything to do with Facebook at all. I'm so heavily shadow banned. Even on this channel, my subscriber count is frozen. I don't think I'll ever get beyond 182,000. And you know what? It doesn't bother me. I just hope that my information is getting out there. I'm not wrapped up in the numbers or anything. I'm just sharing that with evidence as to the censorship. How could I go to averaging, well, I don't know if it was an average, but I had several videos that were well over 100,000 views to 200 views. People suddenly don't like what I have to say anymore. It's shadow banning. So they are censoring. They're continuing to censor. I don't care that he's trying to apologize or explain. And I also think that this might be some sort of theatrical production here where now people are going to say, yeah, it's all that Brandon's fault and Facebook is not going to censor anymore. Really? You think they're not going to censor anymore? I know my smart, savvy, sophisticated, healthy Americans know how to read between the lies. What say you, friends? Are you on Facebook? I know Telegram's being taken down. I never really was on Telegram either. I'm going to have another video for you coming up next week, which is a replay called Where to Find Me If I Go Missing. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And no, I think I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere, but if I'm taking down off these platforms. So thanks everybody for being on board. I appreciate my moderators. I appreciate you. I know that it takes time to watch these videos, and I'm grateful that you join me at 4 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday, sometimes with a little bonus video on the weekend. And I look forward to speaking with you and seeing you in an upcoming broadcast.